Welcome, friends, to another journey in Stoic insight. Today, we dive into a topic as relevant to modern relationships as it was to the ancient philosophers who first pondered human nature. 6 traits of a low-value partner. Stay guarded. Why focus on low-value partners? Because the company we keep shapes our character, our peace of mind, and ultimately the course of our lives. When we bind ourselves to someone who lacks depth, integrity, or respect, we risk fracturing our inner calm and compromising our values. Have you ever found yourself drained after spending time with someone? Or questioned why a relationship that once brought joy now feels like a burden? Today's discussion will help you spot the warning signs early before your emotional bank runs empty. We'll explore 6 clear traits that signal a low-value partner, doing so through a Stoic lens, with clarity, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to inner strength. So settle into your favorite chair, take a deep breath, and let's begin. 1. The lack of self-awareness. Have you ever paused after a tense conversation and wondered, why did I react that way? What was I feeling? Self-awareness is the Stoic's compass, guiding us through life's storms with clarity and purpose. Without it, a partner drifts like a rudderless ship, subject to every gust of passion and whim. When someone lacks self-awareness, they cannot examine their motivations, impulses, or blind spots, and that leaves you sharing your life with someone who may unintentionally harm you again and again. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself, to make it just and holy." A partner without this inward focus spends all their energy reacting to the world, your words, their circumstances, the latest social media outrage without ever pausing to reflect. Imagine trying to build a house of trust with someone who never stops to inspect their foundation. You'll find the walls cracking under pressure. Consider Epictetus's insistence. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. A low-value partner never asks that first question. They skip over self-inquiry, diving straight into action, often hurtful, careless, or oblivious to the impact on others. How many times have you confronted your partner about breaking a promise, only to be met with puzzled denial? "I don't know what you're talking about," they say, erasing the pain you felt. This pattern isn't malicious. It's the symptom of someone who has never developed the habit of introspection. Seneca urged us to travel inwards, to make our inner life the most important journey we undertake. But when a partner refuses this exploration, they lack the tools to navigate conflict or grow alongside you. They repeat the same mistakes, overreacting in stress, lashing out in insecurity, shutting down in vulnerability. Each recurrence chips away at the relationship's foundation, and each time you wonder if this time will be different, only to feel the same sting. Ask yourself, when was the last time your partner acknowledged, "I see how my words hurt you, and I'm sorry"? If that question feels unsettling because you can't remember a genuine apology, it's a red flag. A Stoic, your ideal partner, embraces responsibility. They meditate daily on their character. They welcome feedback as fuel for growth, and they apologize swiftly and sincerely when they've caused harm. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Self-awareness is a muscle developed through honest reflection, journaling, and the willingness to ask hard questions. Why did I feel jealous? What triggered my anger? How did my reaction contribute to the conflict? When both partners engage in this practice, they foster a relationship built on mutual understanding and resilience. So I invite you reflect on your journey and observe. Does your partner walk this path with you, or do they refuse to look inward? True inner strength arises when two people commit to constant self-discovery and to holding one another accountable with kindness. Guard your peace. Surround yourself with those who, like you, are determined to delve within, acknowledge their imperfections, and emerge wiser, steadier, and more compassionate. In that shared pursuit lies the unshakable bond of a high-value partnership. 2. Chronic negativity and victimhood. Have you ever noticed how a single dark cloud can eclipse the brightest day in the same way? Chronic negativity casts a shadow over every shared moment. A partner mired in victimhood sees the world as an endless series of injustices, each one confirming their belief that fate conspires against them. But as Stoics, We know that our power lies not in changing the winds, but in adjusting our sails. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Yet a low-value partner externalizes every setback, blaming traffic, co-workers, or you for their unhappiness. They speak in absolutes, nothing ever goes right, or everyone's against me. These blanket statements aren't truthful. They're the muffling of agency, the refusal to look inward for solutions. Consider Epictetus's challenge. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When life deals a hard hand, a missed promotion, a critical comment, a personal disappointment, the Stoic responds with curiosity. What can I learn? How can I grow? A victim-minded partner, by contrast, curls into a defensive coil, replaying grievances like a broken record. They dwell on past hurts, rather than charting a course forward. Seneca teaches us that he is most powerful who has power over himself. A partner who refuses self-mastery surrenders their power to external circumstances. They speak of obligations as chains, not choosing to reframe responsibilities as opportunities. Instead of saying, I get to support my family, they lament, I have to work this dead-end job. This linguistic difference reveals a mindset, one of gratitude versus one of grievance. Imagine sharing a beautiful sunset, only to have your partner sigh, nice view, but tomorrow it'll be cloudy. Anyway, their lens of pessimism filters out all the world's color. Over time, you start to question your perception. Is the sky dull? Is joy always fleeting? This emotional whiplash erodes your inner calm, the very foundation Stoicism seeks to fortify. Chronic negativity isn't mere complaining, it's a refusal to acknowledge choice. The Stoic knows that hardship is inevitable, but misery is optional. Seneca counsels, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. A high-value partner views challenges as refining fire, forging resilience and compassion. They say, this is difficult, and yet I can endure and learn. They resist the lure of the victim's narrative. Let us also remember that empathy has its limits. Standing beside a loved one in pain is noble, but waiting endlessly in their despair is draining. True support means encouraging agency. What action can you take? How can you reframe this obstacle? When you propose these questions, a partner rooted in victimhood may bristle, clinging to their narrative as proof of its injustice. So ask yourself, does your partner seek solutions or cultivate sourness? Do they inspire you to stand taller or pull you into the mire of complaint? Stoic wisdom teaches that our relationships flourish when both parties embrace responsibility for their inner lives. Surround yourself with those who look at life's storms and ask, how shall I respond? Rather than, why is the storm doing this to me? In that simple shift lies the difference between a draining relationship and one that amplifies your strength and serenity. 3. Inconsistent integrity. Imagine standing on a bridge, trusting its beams to hold you, and then discovering that some planks wobble underfoot. Integrity is the unshakable support of any relationship, yet a low-value partner displays inconsistent integrity. Their promises wobble, their principles shift with convenience, and with each broken commitment, the bridge between you weakens. Marcus Aurelius counsels in his Meditations, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. But an inconsistent partner often treats truth and promise as flexible, conceding them when pressed. Have you ever heard your partner say, I'll be there, only for those words to dissolve into excuses? Or have you felt the sting of half-truths, small lies that seem harmless at first, yet layer into a mountain of mistrust? Epictetus reminds us, truthful speech is more to be heeded than the most plausible prayers. When someone you love bends their words to fit their desires, they fracture the very trust they claim to cherish. You may catch them omitting details here, exaggerating their justifications that begin with I only did that because, or I had to, you know how it is. Each rationalization chips away at your confidence, leaving you perpetually questioning, can I believe anything they say? Pause and reflect. When was the last time your partner admitted a mistake? Without prompting, a Stoic virtue calls for swift, sincere accountability. Seneca writes, as is a tale, so is life, not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. A life and a relationship rich in quality demands honesty. Quality hinges on integrity, the harmony between word and action. When that harmony breaks, we lose the melody of trust. Consider the emotional toll. Each unmet promise settles like a stone in your chest. You learn to expect disappointment, to brace yourself for the next flop. The Stoic path teaches us to endure misfortune, yes, but also to choose companions who wield honesty as their shield, not their bargaining chip. Ask yourself, does my partner's yes feel sturdy, or do I find myself bracing for an inevitable? No later, inconsistent integrity also manifests in principle shifting. One day, your partner champions kindness. The next, they excuse meanness for just this one time. An unwavering Stoic holds fast to virtue regardless of circumstance. Epictetus declared, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." A partner who rewrites their principles to avoid discomfort betrays that Stoic resolve. Integrity isn't a facade to call forth when it suits you. It's the foundation you settle into when hardship knocks. True character is revealed in the crucible of challenge. When a promise conflicts with convenience, will they choose to honor their word or to protect their ease? A low-value partner too often chooses ease, leaving you to bear the weight of their ethical backflip. So how do you guard your peace? First, hold fast to your integrity. Speak what you mean. Do what you say. Then, observe whether your partner aligns with that standard. Notice their apologies. Are they prompt and genuine or grudging and vague? Notice their consistency. Do they honor small commitments, like returning a call, as much as grand promises? In the Stoic view, integrity is non-negotiable. As Marcus Aurelius urged himself, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Surround yourself with those who live this maxim, whose words and actions form a steadfast bridge beneath your feet. In that shared practice of honesty, you find not only trust, but the profound serenity of knowing your bond is built on unshakable ground. 4. Emotional manipulation. Shifted. Emotional manipulation is the stealthy thief of inner peace, a subtle art of eroding your confidence and sanity without ever raising a hand. In Stoic terms, it attacks our chief asset, clear judgment, and leaves us grasping at illusions. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, if someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. But the manipulator reverses this principle, insisting that their version of reality is the only one that matters. Emotional manipulation often takes the guise of guilt tripping. After all I've done for you, you can't do this one thing for me. Here, kindness becomes a weapon, and your generosity is turned against you. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The manipulator preys on that tendency, planting seeds of doubt. You're too sensitive, or I didn't mean it like that, only to watch you question whether your feelings are valid at all. Then there is gaslighting, the cruelest form of manipulation. One moment you recall a promise, the next, they insist it never happened. Epictetus taught, it's not events that disturb people, it's their judgments concerning them. But when a partner systematically undermines your judgments, you begin to doubt everything, your memory, your perception, even your worth. Each denial of your experience shatters a piece of your inner citadel. Imagine a scenario. You express hurt over a harsh comment, and your partner responds, "You're making a mountain out of a molehill, why can't you just lighten up?" Suddenly, your legitimate pain becomes a character flaw. Stoicism urges us to distinguish between what is within our power and what is not. But the manipulator blurs that line, insisting your power lies in accepting their version of events. No questions asked. Seneca instructs, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you can improve. Yet the manipulator only wants your energy, not your growth. They encourage codependence, making themselves indispensable by sowing doubt you cannot overcome alone. And yet, we Stoics hold one unassailable truth: our inner fortress cannot be breached without our consent. As Marcus Aurelius said, nothing happens to any man that he is not formed by nature to bear. When faced with manipulation, we can choose detachment, observing the tactic for what it is, not what it wants us to believe. We ask ourselves, is this guilt legitimately mine? Or is it a borrowed burden? Is my memory flawed? Or is someone twisting my truth? This clarity is both shield and sword. It allows us to respond with calm firmness. I hear your concern, but I remember the facts. It lets us set boundaries and act of self-respect that the manipulator cannot override. By valuing our perceptions, we reclaim agency and refuse to be cast in another's drama. In the crucible of manipulation, remember, your equanimity is the prize. A high-value partner uplifts, validates, and engages in honest dialogue even when the truth stings. They ask, "How did that make you feel?" rather than, "Why are you such a drama king?" Guard your serenity by walking away from those who twist your reality. In doing so, you honor the Stoic promise to preserve the sanctity of your mind, no matter how fierce the assault. 5. Lack of mutual support. When two souls unite under the banner of Stoic friendship, they become fellow travelers on the path to virtue, each one strengthening the other's resolve. Yet a low-value partner treats the relationship as a solo journey, offering little more than an indifferent nod when you triumph and an empty chair when you falter. Marcus Aurelius reminds himself, "Choose one thing and hold on to it, inward calm." But calm is hard to sustain when your victories go unnoticed and your struggles untouched. Imagine coming home after a grueling day, brimming with excitement over a hard-won accomplishment, only to encounter a partner who shrugs, "That's nice, I guess." Their apathy stings more than criticism. Epictetus urged, "Don't just say you have read books. Show that through them you have learned to think better, to act better." Mutual support is more than words of praise. It is embodied in genuine curiosity. Tell me more. How did you overcome that obstacle? What did you learn? A partner who fails to ask these questions fails to invest in your growth. Seneca counsels, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." Yet, without mutual support, the bond feels transactional, an exchange of barely warm affections for distant indifference. You may ask for a listening ear during hardship, only to find your partner preoccupied or dismissive. Each unmet request chips away at the sanctuary you hope to create together. Think of a time you needed encouragement, a steady hand to guide you through uncertainty. Did your partner step forward, offering practical help or a few comforting words? Or did they look away, consumed by their preoccupations? True Stoic companionship means aligning your will with another's well-being. It means sharing burdens as easily as joys, recognizing that our fortunes and misfortunes are interwoven. A lack of support is more than neglect. It's a silent judgment that your aspirations matter less than their convenience. Marcus Aurelius teaches, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." Embodying this, a high-value partner becomes your champion, sending a quick message when you're away, celebrating small victories, offering encouragement before you even ask. Their unwavering presence bolsters your courage, reminding you that even the strongest Stoic need not walk alone. As you reflect, consider whether you, too, offer the same steadfast support. Stoicism is not a solitary fortress, but a community of practice. Seek out those willing to share both triumph and trial, people who listen deeply, speak truth compassionately, and stand as pillars when the winds howl. In such a partnership, you find not just companionship, but the serene power of two minds aligned in purpose, each nourishing the other's journey toward wisdom and inner peace. 6. Inflexible rigidity. Have you ever felt the walls closing in when a partner refuses to bend even when life demands it? In Stoicism, adaptability is not weakness, it is the mark of true strength. Epictetus taught, "Nature has given us two ears and one mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Yet an inflexible partner hears only their voice, deaf to new ideas, fresh perspectives, or the slightest need for change. This rigidity transforms the relationship from a living, evolving bond into a brittle relic of unmet expectations. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his Meditations, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." A high-value partner greets change as destiny's messenger, an opportunity to grow, adapt, and refine. But a low-value partner clings to the familiar, even when familiarity becomes a cage. They dismiss your suggestions, "I've always done it this way," and treat compromise as concession rather than collaboration. Their inflexibility saps your creativity and leaves you wondering if there is room to breathe. Seneca counsels, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Ironically, the inflexible partner craves the illusion of control so fiercely that they impoverish both your lives. They fear the unknown, seeing in every change a threat rather than a chance. When you propose a new route for your morning walk, a fresh hobby to share, or even a different way to handle finances, they balk as though you've threatened their very identity. Their stubbornness conveys a silent message. Your hopes and needs are secondary to preserving their comfort. Emotionally, rigidity feels like shouting into a canyon. Your voice returns only as an echo of the same unyielding stance. You try to bridge the gap with patient persuasion, but the partner's stonewall only deepens your frustration. Each effort to collaborate becomes an emotional tightrope walk. One false step, and you face the cold sting of rejection. Stoicism teaches that our suffering often arises not from external events, but from our judgments about them. Yet when your partner refuses to revise those judgments, they amplify your pain. True Stoic resilience embraces flexibility. As Epictetus urged, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. A high-value partner embodies adaptability, daily welcoming constructive feedback, adjusting habits for the good of the relationship, and viewing differences not as obstacles, but as means to mutual enrichment. They ask, how can we make this better for both of us? Rather than declare, this is how it will be, take it or leave it. Remember Marcus Aurelius's counsel to remain like the rock that the waves continually wash over. It stands unmoved, yet yields to the water's shape. A balanced partner is as steady as that rock, unshaken in their principles, yet supple in their approach. They understand that compromise does not dilute virtue, it refines it. They know life is a river, not a pond, and that to swim requires flow rather than rigid stillness. So, reflect on your own experience. Does your partner navigate the currents of change alongside you, or do they resist every ripple? Guard your inner calm by choosing companions who match your commitment to growth. In flexible partnership, you find not only harmony, but the quiet joy of two hearts moving in concert, each adapting, each learning, each strengthening the other's journey toward true Stoic equanimity. Friends, we've journeyed through 6 critical traits of a low-value partner, from lack of self-awareness to inflexible rigidity. Each of these warning signs chips away at your tranquility, your sense of self, and your ability to live by Stoic virtue. But knowledge is only the first step. The true Stoic path calls for action. I invite you now to pause, breathe, and ask yourself, which of these traits have I tolerated? And how will I respond to protect my inner citadel? The Stoics taught that external events lie beyond our control, but our judgments remain firmly in our grasp. Choose to value yourself and to demand the same in your relationships. If this discussion has resonated, I'm grateful for your attention. Please like this video, share it with someone who could benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more Stoic insights. Leave a comment below. Tell us which trait struck you most, and how you plan to apply these teachings in your life. Until next time, stand firm in your principles, cultivate your inner strength, and let tranquility guide every relationship. Thank you for listening, and may your journey be ever wise.